talking. I don't have an introduction on my podcast or video blog. It's called Allenlytical. And soon, when I say it, I want it to be fancy and it does that. Allenlytical.
And I need to write you a little theme song is what we need.
Oh, yeah, I've already asked you that.
Yeah.
But, so we were talking about, you got upcoming shows on the 20th.
February 20th that is that is an important show. So.
And I'm going to be there, and hopefully you will still wear my GoPro on your head.
That might be rough.
For at least a little segment.
But yeah, definitely bring your GoPro because, like, to me, the whole... Are we really talking right now?
This is on.
Okay, yeah. Because I want it to be a big show. My focus of the band has always been to bring... I want it to be more than a band, if that makes sense. Like, you know, a lot of times you go see a band...
What more can a band be?
I feel like there's a wall. Like when you go to a show, you know, the audience stays in the crowd.
Yeah.
And there's a band on stage and you perform and you respond accordingly.
Yeah.
I want to break that. I want the audience to feel like they have a show. So, especially this February 20th, that's what I want. You know, this is our first, you know, decent show at a good venue in downtown Champaign, which a band like us, you know, we're not necessarily conducive to downtown Champaign because we're kind of rowdy. We're not from Champaign.
No.
You know, we're not indie rockers.
You're from...
Oakwood. Yeah, we're much more Vermilion County, I guess, than Champaign County. So February 20th, I feel like this is our spot. And yeah, I plan to be there with signs. We're going to get some T-shirts. And I want to bring all the people who come to see us here there.
I'm going.
You know? So
we're going. Yeah. I want to have a sign. Last time I made a sign was when WCW came to... the Champaign Arena.
Oh, yeah. And, man, we're going to have to touch on professional wrestling later.
Oh, we will.
Because I grew up with all that.
And I wanted huge. But my sign didn't get on the...
Didn't get on TV, yeah. That was always the big thing, you get your sign on TV. But yeah, February 20th, I want signs. I want, you know, I want those normal bartenders at the Cowboy Monkey to see more than just two guys on a stage. I want them to see a movement. And, and I mean, naturally, that's going to lead them back to this area. And I'm very...
Can you get more gigs at the Cowboy Monkey? Can this be a regular thing?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You know, I try to take like each moment as it is. So I want to make each moment its own moment. So February 20th, I want everybody who comes out to Vintage Villens, everybody from this area to have
everyone that came out to Fat Man's to help support you guys, shoot the video.
Yeah, I want everybody to be there with the signs, and I want those normal Cowboy Monkey people to be like, what's happening? You know, it's not just two guys on stage. It's people in the audience. Where did this group come from? What is this?
Like it's instead of a band like you are describing it, like it's one mass.
It's a thing. Yeah, definitely. That's what I try to do with the collective. That's you know, yeah.
So that's actually a really good old band too.
Yeah.
The collective.
Yeah.
I like their shit. I like his shit too. We did. You guys shot a video.
Yes,
when's that coming out?
Tomorrow. We're going to put it all together tomorrow.
People have been asking me.
So yeah, I'm going to try to talk Jason into a little like Facebook countdown, you know,
or like maybe even a teaser,
you know. Yeah, we're going to put it all together tomorrow. So I mean, we had multiple cameras, we did multiple takes, we have a lot of footage. So and we got to condense that to 2 minutes.
It's gonna be a 2-minute video.
Yeah, it's a 2-minute song. So 2-minute, 2-second video. So
friends.
Yeah, drunk with all my friends. So, yeah, I'm excited. We're going to edit it all tomorrow, put it all together. I have a vision in my head. I'm sure Jason has a vision in his head.
Do you guys' visions match?
Well, we'll find out tomorrow. So it's either going to go really smoothly.
Was there a lot of back and forth?
It's going to go really smoothly or not. We haven't even discussed it. I mean, we did, at the time, we had shots we wanted, but as far as selecting the shots and putting it together... and I don't want it to be like you were there, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of you probably didn't realize why are we shooting certain things, or what's the end game of getting this shot or that shot.
I'm sure there's.
Yeah, there's definitely, you know. I want it to be. I want people to see this and be like, God, how did they pull this off? Like this looks like a legit video.
Did it come out looking good?
Oh, we haven't even watched it.
Oh, you haven't even watched it?
It's all tomorrow.
These guys.
All tomorrow, yeah.
He's all here talking about how excited he is about this video coming out. And I'm like, well, does it even... I haven't even watched it.
I haven't watched it, but it felt good. It felt good.
It did feel good, the atmosphere. And I was surprised that so many people came out.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I don't know that's because of your music or they like to drink.
Probably a little both.
and it was packed, and and you guys said it was fun, and hopefully I am in one of those shots because I'm an attention whore and I like attention. That's why the camera's pointed right at me, and he's like kind of over there.
Yeah, he even has he has this guy that just keeps skewing the camera towards him. Actually, you guys can't see that, but
push that back.
Yeah, it's happening. He's giving all.
This is my second podcast. My first one was with Ripper the Clown. You know him. He knows you. I know you. I know him. Thus, I have you on my couch. Now, Dustin, what I want to know, and what your possible fans may want to know, is when are you going to start updating your Facebook page more? And how did all of this come about? What's the story? Like Tupac, you know, he was just some little, you know, some thug rapping and shit, and you know, he became one of the greatest rappers alive. That unfortunately got shot. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you.
Hopefully not.
But how did this? When did you begin to water yourself to, you know, grow out to be this wonderful band that you could call the Villens?
I started drum lessons when I was around age 9 or 10. Took drum lessons for maybe 3-4 years, 13. When growing up, I was into. I didn't listen to rock music. I didn't listen to punk, really anything like that. I mean, you'd get little bits of it just because you're growing up in the 80s and 90s. So you got, you know, Guns N' Roses and things like that on the radio. But I was into Boyz II Men. I was into Mariah Carey. I was into
You were seducing girls at a young age,
you know,
listening to music like that.
That's what I was into, you know, and a huge hip hop fan. I mean, I remember being, you know, 11, 12, you know, a kid and just begging my mom for, you know, not even the full album, just the cassette single of Doggy Style. You know, What's My Name?
He talking about Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, yeah, when
Not
it came
sex
out.
position.
So I was into all that. So age 15 is when I got my first guitar for my birthday.
Wait, you growing up in Oakwoodish area, you somehow gravitated, because Oakwood is people that may not be from around here. Oakwood is it's like that's where all the white people are. And then you got this guy at a young age listening to Boyz II Men and hip hop.
Yeah, I was born up in Downers Grove, so from up until age 9, I actually grew up in the suburbs around Chicago. And from there, we moved down to Oakwood.
Oh, this is raw. This is live. We got her beer.
Rachel, yeah. Yeah, so we moved on at age 9. Yeah, I was into all that. So yeah, got my first guitar at age 15, and it's funny because a lot of people, you know, when you talk to guitarists, it's Jimmy Page, it's, you know, Jimi Hendrix. These are the people that inspired them to get a guitar. For me, it was Babyface because I was huge. I wanted to be a music producer, and so I mean, I worship Babyface. You know, even like Sean Combs. So Babyface, you know, the Tony Rich Project. You remember that guy?
Yes.
Tony Rich Project.
Yeah. What was the song name of?
Nobody Knows.
No one knows it but me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those people inspired me to get that guitar. So at age 15, I got an acoustic guitar because of Babyface, because of Tony Rich.
See, I don't remember much of Babyface. I don't know if you want one.
Yeah.
I've never had them.
Fantastic. Oh, well, anything by Founders. Yeah, well, so Babyface, you know, he's mainly a songwriter, which that's what I consider myself a songwriter. I write songs. But yeah, so that's where the guitar came from. I didn't get into rock music until later, you know, all my friends, naturally, because I grew up in Oakwood. Yeah. You know, and they're white, and they're listening to you know,
they were probably listening to what Nirvana?
Yeah, right, yeah, Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins,
Pearl Jam.
All those grunge bands that, you know, I'm just now revisiting because I just wasn't into that. But yeah, so into rock, I got into rock through Wyclef Jean, who had Bob Dylan featured on one of his songs.
Yeah, Wyclef Jean is a lot of hip hop artists, musicians, actually, they say the same thing. Like, you're saying that you kind of got your inspiration from hip hop and R&B, and a lot of rappers, they actually say they grew up listening to like rock and roll. Like Jay-Z was a huge fan of rock and roll. we're still on. I just got
So that's how I went through Wyclef Jean, turned me on to Bob Dylan. I got Bob Dylan's greatest hits.
Did you ever call 911? Someone please call 911. That was the longest. That was the longest video, the longest song ever, and the only other song that beats that out is September or November Rain.
November Rain.
November Rain.
Yeah.
I still haven't finished listening to it, but
it's still playing in the background.
Yeah, it goes on and on.
No, yeah. So he got me into Bob Dylan. And Bob Dylan turned into the Beatles, and to this day, like Bob Dylan, the Beatles,
I like Bob Dylan,
and the Beach Boys. Those are the pinnacle for me. It's not going to get better than that. So,
I like the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys were like the first commercialized boy band, right? Were they kind
you
of?
You can say it in a way. I mean, the Beatles were a little bit like that, you know.
Were the Beach Boys before?
What was important to me, I think, you know, and I could be getting this completely wrong, but. The Beatles and the Beach Boys, you know, they wrote their own songs and they performed their own songs, which was something that was still up and coming at that time.
Elvis didn't write any of his own songs,
right?
Which
you had more like
me off.
Yeah, you had more your front man, and they did that. So I think they changed that, and they're competitive with each other. They progressed.
What's that one Beach Boys song that everyone knows? Something.
Start singing it.
I don't
There's
know.
California Girls. There's Surfing USA.
That one.
Surfing USA.
Yep. Surfing USA. Me, look.
Surfing USA.
Surfing USA. I'm half black. I don't even know why that matters. I'm just a music lover. I know the Beach Boys. A lot of people put the Beatles up there on a pedestal that's way above this camera, and I'll say it right now. I don't really like their music that much, but I can. Maybe I don't even know if I understand what they did for the music industry. What did they do for the music industry?
That's a massive question with probably a lot of answers. To me, they took it upon themselves. They constantly improved themselves. So you had a lot of live performance bands. The Beatles took it into the studio, along with Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. And, I mean, you're getting what the Beatles did. And, I mean, the world they brought into music, that's what's happening now. I mean, people didn't overdub things back in the day. They recorded live, you know. The Beatles started that. Brian Wilson started that. Bringing orchestra-type instruments into pop music and rock and roll music. That's something new that wasn't happening, you know.
And that's what they did.
That's what they did. Yeah, they progressed it. And every album's different. They weren't afraid to change. You know?
I think the only thing that John Lennon did wrong is marry that
Yoko. Everyone hates
that
Yoko.
Screeching siren of a woman that is Yoko Ono. Have you seen these live performances, so-called live performances that she puts on for people, and people show up, and what does she do? Just makes noises and walks off and drops a mic like it was a masterpiece.
Yeah, she must be on the Beatles level that we're not understanding. I haven't seen any of them, but yeah, people always say that. But okay, so that got me into rock music. I after high school, I went to Greenville College for music production. You had to take piano lessons and learn theory and learn the studio engineering. And one day, it was literally just one day, I woke up and I just wanted to start a punk band. And I didn't listen to punk at all. My brother was huge into punk. He didn't play drums at all at the time. He didn't even have a set. And I remember calling him from my college dorm room and being like, I'm thinking about starting a punk band named the Villens. Mm-hmm. I already had the name.
Where'd the name come from? Because I think there's an old song called the Villens or something.
There might be, and I don't know where the name came from. I just remember waking up and calling.
Because usually people ask bands these questions.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, like there's this
How'd you
one
think
band,
of your name?
Chocolate Starfish Monkeys or something.
Yeah.
We just put names in a hat. We just pulled some shit out and.
It wasn't like that at all. It completely just
What does that
divine
mean?
Inspiration.
What's that mean to you? The Villens.
The Villens.
Because what people think of a villain as someone that goes against the grain of what is supposed to be.
And that's exactly that's everything I try to do. I'm breaking
the mold.
All the walls that when you go to a show and you're expecting a certain thing to happen. That's not going to happen with us. Those rules don't exist with us.
So
if you want to be on stage with us, get up on stage with us. If I want to,
don't say that, because you'll have people doing it.
Oh yeah, and that's great. That's great. I mean, give us some time. Wait for my cue. Wait for me to cue you in. But if I want to break in the middle of my punk rock set and play my ukulele, then that's okay. I don't want you.
And he brought some of these instruments here today. You guys are going to get a sample of that too. So that's where Villens, you kind of always had that. You woke up one day, and you wanted to form a punk band.
Form the band. So we ripped a beat off of "Bringing It All Back Home," the album by Bob Dylan, where it's just boom, pop, boom, pop, boom. Pop.
Don't know it.
And Jason didn't play drums, so he had to learn that beat. There were 5 of us in the beginning, and we just whittled ourselves down. Now it's just me and Jason. But yeah, we've played in.
Do you feel lonely just having 2 members?
No, it is wonderful having 2 members, especially since he's my brother too.
And
it's easier to schedule practices. It's less fighting. There's no
you guys can probably be.
Everybody's trying to turn themselves up.
You guys can probably be a lot more honest with each other.
Oh yeah, and he
without
is
really hurting it, because you guys are brothers. You guys. He's probably had you under his arm. Brothers fight, and having a band with a brother or sister or whatever. I think it could be easier, like you said.
It's definitely easier. Yeah. I mean, you can't break up. It makes Thanksgiving weird.
Isn't that one band that Kings of Leon? Aren't they all?
Yeah, they're all brothers and cousins, right?
Cousins.
Yeah, I think there's a cousin and 2 brothers.
They all
brothers.
dropped out of high school, and Pyro's a great song.
Kings of Leon have some great songs. Yeah, I like the emotion that they inject into this weird brand of indie southern rock.
Yeah, and I like the emotion that you inject into your own form of music.
Well, thanks.
That's a good segue.
You're getting better at this. This is the second one. You're already
I got a beer in me. That's why.
We just hit the next level right here. Alan Lewis.
Analytical
podcast.
Analytical. So punk. Growing up listening to R&B and all that stuff that you did, Beach Boys and all that. What made you want to go punk?
I needed a drummer that I could trust, and that's all my brother listened to was punk.
Oh.
A punk band seems fun. It just I really don't. I never sit down and say, this is what I'm going to do. As it comes to me, I try to make it happen. And I just trust in the process of that came to me for a reason.
What if one day you accidentally made a song that sounds kind of poppy?
Then that's fine. That's it.
But then all you got to do is just punk it up a little bit. What if one day you made a song... What if one day you made a song that was that Justin Bieber song? Yeah. Baby. And your brother's like, dude, that sounds fucking...
Yeah.
poppy as shit, but then you put your spin on it, and it's like, baby, or I don't know.
And I'm smiling because it happens all the time. That's if you slow down these songs, they aren't punk songs at all. They're punk songs.
I like your music.
Plays drums fast.
I really don't even know what the clear definition of punk is, because I like the Ramones and people classify them as a punk band and.
One of the first.
Yeah, one of the first out of Chicago, and apparently my Uncle Scott were real good friends with one of them.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, this is a story my mom tells me all the time, that he used to shoot up heroin with Joey Ramone.
That could be true, yeah.
I don't have any validation of this, but this is just something I grew up hearing. That's the only reason why I know the Ramones, because I was like, wow, and they make good music, and
the Ramones are catchy. Yeah, I think the Ramones did what they should have done. I think they brought it back to rock and roll. If you look back at the time of the Ramones, you had a lot of big, blown out bands. You had bands, with 7-minute solos.
Yeah, you had hair bands. And
the Ramones took it back to white T-shirts, jeans, and leather jackets, and 3-minute songs that are just hard and fast and loud. And that inspired us. That was our whole goal. We wouldn't have been to half the places we've been to if it wasn't for the Ramones. And I say that just because we would book tours just to get us into CBGB's. CBGB's is kind of where that started for the Ramones in New York City. CBGB's, yeah. So we actually went there twice because as a young punk band, that's the Mecca.
The Mecca. Yeah. CBGB's is a...
Unsigned, yeah. It was a venue, yeah. It's closed now in New York City, so the Ramones got their start there, Blondie.
So you've played there
twice, yes.
Oh.
And that was before Facebook. You know, that was before MySpace. That was, you sent out a demo with this. I remember a handwritten letter with the demo. You know, saying, "Hey, we'll play for free."
Yeah.
we just
you
wanna,
just want to go. You just want to go. Like my dream as a comedian is to perform at certain locations, like where all the other greats have performed. Like,
exactly.
You know, the Laugh Factory, the Ice House, Crackers Comedy Club, which I performed there, and
got one off your list.
Got one off my list. I fucking knows when the rest is gonna happen. But as you were saying. I forgot what I was going to ask.
Well, it's possible, yeah. So, yeah, it's along the same lines. That's why we wanted to play a CBGB, you know, because it is a place just like that. And it is possible. I mean, a young unsigned band from Illinois, you know, and we played there twice just because we had the urge to do it. And that's important to me, especially now, you know, now I'm getting older. I mean, you know, you hit your 30s and you see things, you really do, you see things a little differently.
I do, fuck. You said one day you woke up and you wanted to start a punk band. Yeah. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I just don't even want to go to work anymore. I don't want to.
You got to compromise on something.
I don't want to do this thing called life at all, man. Now, at what point in your music career did you really start taking things seriously? Like, was there a point when you were like, wow, we're really building some traction here? People seem to like us or whatever. Like, what point? Was there a point? Or have you always been this hard-driven about your music?
Always very hard-driven. I have to have a purpose to what I'm doing. So my purpose has always been to provide something different and to inspire you to do the same. So if you see me up there doing my thing that doesn't sound like anything you've really heard before, or, you know, I hope that inspires them to think, you know, I can do that same thing.
Even the listeners.
If this guy is out there...
This is being streamed live to 37 people right now.
If this guy is out there doing, you know, what he wants, and he's knocking down those barriers and not following the rules as we've come to learn them, then whatever crazy idea I have in myself, I can do the same thing. That's why I'm always on people. That's why I was on you about this podcast.
Guys.
I was on you about this podcast. You mentioned it to me, you know, yeah, I want to do a podcast. And, I mean, I don't want to say I was unrelenting, but I brought it up multiple times to you. Multiple times. You need to do this podcast because that came to you for a reason.
Yeah, it did. And he started sending me these inspirational text messages. You know, I'm like, what the fuck? Is he drunk or something? But hey, man, you really need to follow your dreams. You need to do this. Do this now. Go out and get a mic. Even if it's cheap, shitty, whatever. Just do what you got to do. Yeah. And this is why I'm talking to you guys in front of a fucking couch.
And that's
with a blanket covering the blinds. Everything has a beginning.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, if I went back to your beginning as a musician. Yeah. And heard the music, because you've been performing, writing music for how long?
Long time. The Villens started in 2001.
How could people hear a change in your style?
I hope so. There are some songs that we've been playing for 10 years, you know, but as you get new experiences, if you're true to yourself as just not even just an artist, but just as a person, those experiences are going to change you. One of my biggest pet peeves is when you run into people and are like, oh, I ain't changed. That sounds like a complete waste of your life. What do you mean you haven't changed? Have you not experienced anything in your life that has touched you on a level where you've taken something from it?
I think some people are afraid to open up and admit that they have faults. And faults that they need to be corrected. Some people have this mindset that I'm rock solid all the time. There's nothing emotionally wrong with me. Yeah. My mental capacities are at 100% all the time. Well, sorry, buddy. They're not. I sure as hell know I got some fucked up tendencies on me. Yeah. And, you know, be the first one to admit it. People need to realize that, just like you was saying.
Yeah, I mean, we're humans. We feel an entire spectrum of feelings. So, I mean, I hope people can listen to my stuff if for I don't know what reason you would want to go through my stuff in chronological order, but if you
should, is there somewhere that they can go check out?
If you go to alonetone.com/Dustin Danger, /playlists.
So damn, that's a lot of fucking work.
Or you can just go to thevillens.com, Villens, thevillens.com.
Villens sounds like you sound.
There's going to be a little link. Click on it to Alone Tone, and it has every album, every radio show that we've put out since 2003.
You're doing this for free? You're giving your music out for free?
It's free, yeah.
You know why?
Absolutely.
Because this guy, he cares about his music. But this shit won't last long. This free shit. As soon as he blows up, he'll be like, take that shit down, take that shit down. These motherfuckers are paying for my shit now.
They will be, but I'll still be driving city to city, like just giving copies away out of my trunk. You know, I'll be sending people. Yeah.
Have you done that?
Oh,
because I hear a lot of rappers like Eminem will talk about going to some place, pressing albums and just slinging them, just selling them, giving them away.
Back then, yeah, that's kind of how they did stuff. Now you go on podcasts and you just give out a big long web address
with a bunch of slashes.
It'd be like it's all But if you go to thevillens.com, Villens, there's an Alone Tone. You click it, you'll see all our albums, and you can go back to 2003 and listen to those versions of those songs.
Should they?
Yeah, I have nothing to hide, or they wouldn't be up there, And then listen to the new stuff and follow the progression, and you'll get different experiences of my life. Hopefully, you'll be like, "Wow, there's another side of this guy. It's not just goofy punk rock." And
I'm sure they're seeing a different side of you right now.
People should change, and I hope when I'm 50, I'm going to look back and
a favorite quote.
To progress.
We were talking about movies. Have you seen 16 Blocks with Bruce Willis and Mos Def?
I have not, actually.
Well,
I know the movie, but yeah.
But, the basis, Bruce Willis is a drunken cop. He has to transport Mos Def to the courthouse to testify. Well, anyway, Mos Def says a quote in the movie. People change, which he just said. Because Mos Def kept saying to Bruce Willis, look, I'm not the same. People change, Jack. People change. And Bruce Willis was a hardened, stubborn, old school cop. No, they don't. No, people change, Jack. Then why are you going to prison for 16 years? I made a mistake, but people change. Once, watch. When I get out, I'm going to make a bakery and I'm going to send you a cake for your birthday. And guess what? He got out. And he sent him a cake for his birthday. But he didn't send it. His sister did, because Mos Def died. Spoiler alert. This movie was like 15 years ago. So, anyway, I like the movie. I'm going to make him watch it sometime. People do change. And that's really hard to... Sometimes it's hard to look back behind what someone used to be, because that's the only initial memory you have of them.
Yeah.
But then they come up, because I've had people come up to me. I'm like, crap, I don't want to talk to this guy. This dude was a fucking asshole in high school.
Right.
Why is he trying to talk to me? But then we start talking, having a few beers, whatever. I'm like, wow, you turned out to be a nice guy. Because people change, Jack.
And you have to be open to that, not only with others, but with yourself. So, yeah, when if a pop song comes to me, I shouldn't feel the need to only put it out as punk either, because maybe that's the direction I'm meant to go. There's a reason I'm playing ukuleles and mandolins all of a sudden. So I don't know why it is, but I'm going to go with it. So yeah, people change. Yourself and others, and you need to be open to that change. Otherwise, you're not going to progress. Like, I think it was Muhammad Ali. I don't know the exact quote, I'm going to butcher it, but, the man at 50 who views his life the same way he did at 20 just wasted 30 years of his life, and I believe in that wholeheartedly. We're here for a reason. We're here to progress, to take in these experiences and pass it on.
Shit just got deep. Quoting Muhammad Ali.
It's a similar quote, yeah.
It is.
The numbers are right, but yeah.
And you are right. I'm all about change. There's some things in my life that I'm trying to change and get back together, get back to where I was. And I'm not afraid to admit that I've made some mistakes. That's why I've got a stupid tattoo on my neck that says "fuck the system." Because I was young and I was dumb, and I had all this hate inside of me because I made some mistakes. And I felt like, it's just people change. And your music, the first time I heard "Getting Drunk with My Friends," is that the actual title?
Drunk with all my friends.
Drunk with all my friends.
Yeah.
It changed me. A little
Changed
bit.
you.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I like the song and like the I do you remember how we met?
You know, I bet we have different versions of how we met. Because I met you a couple of years before I think you remember meeting me. I actually met you at the old DBG on Halloween. I was out with my ex-wife, and you were there too. And
I was probably out with my ex fucking whore of a girlfriend.
It was, and it was late, so and you had a microphone. I don't know, grabbed it from a DJ, but you're going around the bar with this microphone, and you asked me what my favorite Aerosmith song was.
Oh,
and
I do remember it.
Yeah, and I was so,
I remember the night with the microphone because
I was so taken back by that. I was like, oh wow, okay, let me think here. One, who's this guy? Why does he have a microphone?
Meeting you with your ex. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Because I think you were in like what they call like a sport coat or like a
probably
a pea jacket or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably. I remember that because the owners of that bar, Ami Patel, I love you to death. They were pushing me to help them out and do some stupid crazy stuff. Yeah. So they just gave me a microphone one day, and I was the jackass. This was the beginning of my comedy career. I would just walk around a bar and just shove microphones in people's faces and be like, "What's your favorite Aerosmith song?"
Yeah,
because that's funny.
That's probably my favorite.
I don't know the song.
Then I remember I think you caught one of my shows at Vintage Villens, and then I saw you at Fat Man's, and I mentioned it to you.
Yeah.
So those are my memories of us meeting.
My memories, dude.
But what's your memory of us meeting? Because
I remember what I think is I forgot about the DBG incident until you brought it up. So I do remember that. But my first vivid memory of meeting you would be at the show that I saw you at. And then like a few months later, you sent me a text about wanting to work with me.
Yeah.
On a like a funny comedy punk rock CD.
Yeah, I have not forgotten that.
He saw the article in the newspaper they wrote about me doing some stand up about buying drugs off of a guy when I was in a suit and calling him sir.
Yeah.
And you don't do that, because then they might fire you. And
Yeah. It was edgy and it was funny, and I thought, and I'd seen you before, so. And then I got in some of your writing, so I saw the comedy and the seriousness, and
a lot of people think I'm just a total goofball, but I'm not. I'm deep and I cry a lot,
and that's a good thing. You see, that's in my music. You have the funny songs, or you have the not so serious, like "Drunk with All My Friends," but then you have something that's a little more like "To Be Drunk in America," or maybe I'll play like a love song for you.
I like love songs,
and
so as long as it's a Boys and Men reference.
That's right.
I made love to you.
Things are getting really weird on the podcast here in a minute.
The podcast will just stop. Next thing you know, these cushions are thrown off. So my hair, I don't.
Rustle around,
But no, because we're both kind of entertainers. You do the music, I do the comedy. He's got a big show the 20th of February. I've got a big show I suck at promotion. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, we need Ripper the Clown here.
He would.
Promotional machine.
He's a promotional machine. He would be. The first time I saw him without makeup, he approached me at one of my comedy shows, and after I got off stage, I was drinking a beer at the bar. He placed his hand on my back. He's like, "Hey, Alan, what's up?" And I'm like,
"You didn't recognize him?
Who the fuck are you?"
I wouldn't have either. Actually, we had a night out, and we went to the 610. And he was there without makeup, and you're like, you know who that is? I'm like, no, I don't know who he is at all.
He's got long hair, and he has beautiful skin. I think that the makeup that he wears all the time does something to his skin.
It's actually a moisturizing.
Yeah, it does because
not clown makeup at all.
It kind of looks like a slightly less muscular Fabio in the face to me.
I'm never going to look at him the same now.
Well, don't tell him I said that.
But we are collaborating on the book. We started getting into books. Published the one in November. I'm just trying to collect pieces from people around here and put it out. So
I think people need to be more experimental with like this whole podcast thing. I've always wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do comedy because I've always been a class clown. People always want to do stuff. You probably always wanted to be a singer, to be in a band, and a lot of people are afraid to even follow it slightly because if they fell, other people can look at them and be like, look at that, you try to follow your dreams and you fucking suck, you know?
Yeah.
But you know what? People say shit to me all the time. Some people don't like my comedy, some other people do. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm still going to keep doing it because I generally do it because I like it. I do it for me sometimes.
Yeah.
Plus I like the attention. And
it's coming to you for a reason. And like, you know, you got all your movies like The Dark Knight, you know, so like anytime, you know, you're afraid to fall, like I go back to that movie now. It's like, why do we fall, Bruce? You know, and yeah, you learn something from that. I was just saying earlier to Nicole Miller, we did an interview with her, and
he did 2 interviews today.
Yeah,
look at this guy.
This is weird.
Man, 2 in a row.
Super strange.
He's blowing up.
Yeah, for today. Tomorrow's back to life as normal. But yeah, you know, she's asking me about Danville. What are my thoughts on Danville? And you know, because I definitely feel there's something happening.
A lot of people talk shit about Danville. There's nothing going on.
People do.
Within the past few years, I think the scene is.
Yeah, I'd say past year and a half, I think fuses are being lit all over, and it's all connected to one thing. And as soon as these fuses connect, you know, yeah, it's gonna be something big. And yeah, Danville just as a whole, you know, like you know, everything kind of shut down and people get down on it. And I think we're to the point now where it's like we've hit the bottom of that hole. You know what I mean? We're in the pit with the 2 old dudes, and we gotta rise to climb out of that. And you don't care anymore. So you put it out there, and the thing that people don't get is that all the negative energy in your life, all the bad things that have happened, it's just as important as everything that's good, and people kind of shy away from that and just get down in that hole.
I'm glad I've had some bad experiences because sometimes
it makes you who you are.
It's a corny quote, you know, you got to experience the bad to even know what good feels like. But I think sometimes going through bad experiences, being down for a couple of months, couple years, whatever, makes you humble. It gives you. You take off your glasses and you put on someone else's, and you see the world through a totally different point of view that you've never had to live it or view it, and then I think it makes you more open and more humble.
You
builds
get a different
character.
Perspective. Yeah,
because I've walked those shoes. I've walked, you know, grown up poor, fucking drinking powdered milk. Have you had powdered milk?
I've not. No.
Yeah, this guy powdered milk all day long, and all it is just water, a powdery white substance.
And you got to mix it with water.
Put water in it, and it's fucking milk, but it's not.
Right.
Yeah, I've sharing bath water with my brothers to save on the water bill.
Yeah.
You know, I've taken baths with my little brother and seen his little pee-pee.
Who hasn't been there, right?
Yeah, we've all done that, you know, and all that, coming from a diverse background of having white friends, Mexican friends, and rich friends and poor friends. I think my whole life, my mom's taught me to treat everyone the way that you want to be treated, and don't look down on someone just because of their current situation.
Right, because your current situation does not define who you are as a person, and your circumstances don't dictate your possibilities. So you can come out doing whatever you want to do if you think it and you believe in it. And the thing with you, you know, with your diverse background, to me, that broadens your scope. You know, too many people, I feel like, just kind of go through life just looking, you know, through this telescope.
Right,
you know what I mean? But like right now, we got binoculars, and then, you know, pretty soon they're gone. And once you do that, you can connect people. You see the connections. You see the whole thing. I mean, if you go through your whole life just looking like this, you miss all this and you don't understand exactly what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So as soon as those, you know, widen, you see this, but not only do you see that, you see how it connects to everything in the peripheral. And that changes your perspective. I think that emboldens you to do new things and try new things and be open, not only to change, but to others, and to realizing your maximum potential in life.
That's like a way of saying that everything in the universe is weirdly connected. there's all these sockets around here without plugs in them. And I'm going around trying to plug up every single one because I want everyone to be connected. I want everyone to feel the same way I want. You know,
amazingly put, yeah.
Yeah, and I think someday, with more advances of technology, like when I upload this video, there could be some random dude that doesn't even know of you or your music or
most
me.
likely, but yeah.
That, you know, sometimes you go through those YouTube binges and you end up on a fucking video about how they make doors. Yeah, how the fuck did I get here?
Right.
Some dude's gonna be surfing YouTube and he's gonna stumble upon this, and he may watch it and he may like it, or he may just be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But with technology, with these sockets that need to be plugged, I think slowly and more that is gonna happen, because we have the ability to speak to people instantly, the ability to reach out and communicate. I just said the same thing 2 times.
But it's a very important point. So, it was worth 2 mentions. But, no, I totally get what you're saying. Definitely.
You want to play a song? Because I want to play a song.
Yeah, let's do it.
We won't keep this out talked. He's getting up. I don't know what instrument he's going to bring over. I don't know what he's going to play. Thank you for listening this far. Let's see how long. It's been 41. Look, there's going to be
listening. That's amazing.
People, and thank you. I still have to upload rippers. I've been busy. I haven't really been busy. I've just been working. You hear that?
It's my mandolin. I brought the mandolin to you. I didn't know what you wanted me to play. Honestly,
How do you know how to?
Dude, I went through just a serious, just an addiction. A lot of people like drink and
Yeah, I was about to
do
say,
drugs.
what, dude? I didn't know
I just
you went
got
to
into
rehab.
stringed instruments. So yeah, I got Cuban trace, Puerto Rican cuatro, got this mandolin, got banjo, got the
How much
uke.
does something
Just,
like that cost?
I don't go crazy with it. Like I shoot for my instruments. My guitar, is around like $400 or so. But $200 is about that's my limit.
What are you gonna do? Just go free flow?
What do you want a couple or you want one? You want me to do a
Just do whatever you
faster
want.
one, a slower one?
Just do it. You said you're gonna play a love song.
Yeah, I can do that.
Do that. Love songs by the styling of Dustin Danger.
If it's over, then it's over. If it's over, you don't win. If it's over, then it's over. Whoa, and you won't see me again. Your reasons always changing, like the seasons and the wind. You either love me or you don't. We can both learn to forget. But if it's over, then it's over. And if it's over, you don't win. If it's over, then it's over. Whoa, and you won't see me again. Your love will always haunt me, no matter where I am. I can hear you in my silence. I can still feel you on my skin. I hope your heart beats till it's broken, and you're dying for my kiss. I hope you find me and you're aching, and realize what you missed. 'Cause if it's over, then it's over. And if it's over, you don't win. If it's over,
Whoa! Holy shit, man!
A little out of tune, but
No!
should have checked it.
What's the name of that song?
If it's over, it's got a boring title, but
My God. Man. That's
That was,
gonna be the trailer for this fucking thing.
yeah, anything,
I love
man.
the lyrics. I love that. I mean, everything.
Well, thank you.
Ah.
Yeah, thanks. So when you guys all check out the Drunk with All My Friends video or come see a Villens show, come back to this and realize it's the full scope. So yeah, there's more to me than just alcohol.
I'm
Partying.
Like not only did you play it, like, you hear people go on shows and they got to play a song, and sometimes it just seem like they're half-assed and they gotta fucking play a song.
Oh yeah.
To me, it seemed like you got into it and just,
Yeah.
and I like that because it makes me feel like that you feel comfortable around me and relax.
Oh yeah. This is a good setup. Anybody who wants to be on here, please contact Alan. You should definitely be on this. This is wonderful. He provides drinks. It's a comfortable couch.
It's
You know what I mean?
it's an ugly ass couch though. I got this from my brother for free because he was moving,
It's comfortable.
and he was like, "Hey,
though,
dude, you want this?" I drove this couch back from Chicago because I didn't have a couch at the time.
Really?
I had that little green piece of shit.
This is much better than the green piece of
Yeah,
shit.
it is much
For
better
sure.
than the green
But
piece
no,
of shit.
yeah, if you want to be on this, definitely be on. I think, you're just starting. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
I'm gonna get the mayor to sit down with me on this couch.
That would be amazing.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because the mayor, he likes my comedy. He'll fucking respond to some of my comments on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, and if I got the mayor on this fucking show to sit down with me, have a few
Yeah.
beers with me, I don't know if he have to like bring secret agents or I don't know what the fuck it
For
is.
the mayor of Danville, it's possible.
But I want Scott Eisenhower. I'm getting you.
Scott Eisenhower. Anybody listening to this, hit
If you-
up Scott
if you got
Eisenhower. Write
connections.
letters.
Hashtag Scott
Do-
on the couch.
Yeah, we want Scott on Alan's podcast. Because this is the start of good things. Goes back to what I was saying. There's stuff happening in Danville, even things like this, and it's important that we all come out to support it. So,
Yeah, they're like you were saying earlier. Businesses may have shut down, but people forget that there's still people. There's still people in Danville that didn't shut down because of a business shutting down, and there's a large collective group of talented people like Dustin. Okay. I wasn't gonna say myself because did you see what did you see what he played? If it's over, then it's over.
you already got it in your head.
Yeah, that should be on the radio right now. How old is that
I'd
song?
be all for it. Dude, I don't know. Maybe a year or two.
And did that come through like a
Maybe two.
bad breakup?
Yeah, like the songs.
Or were you like playing a video game and you couldn't beat it? So you're like, if it's over,
it's over. I still feel you on my skin, controller.
Yeah.
Those
breakups sucks, don't they?
So, songwriting, I never sit down to write a song. I never sit down and say, this is my intention, I'm going to write a song. It's kind of like, and it sounds super pretentious, and I'm over it because this is the honest truth. It's almost like you already hear the song, and you just have to zone out and tune into it, and you hear bits of words, and you hear the melody, and it comes to you. And, it's about life experiences for sure. So we've all had, heartbreaks and, love's good and bad.
Love is good and bad, and like you said, you need to have those bad experiences. But all my ex-girlfriends, besides one, they can all just fucking die. I'm kidding, okay? It's all good. And, that was an excellent song.
Thank you.
I moved. Like, where did... He's got me all... I was all...
Flustered.
Yeah.
Flustered. You probably weren't expecting me to pull out a song like that, but just because it's not my normal style. But I actually have as many songs like that as I do the fun punk rock, crazy villain songs. So
now, besides music,
yeah.
What do you do?
Well, I got 2 daughters, so and I got my full-time job.
Are you a good father?
Yeah, I think so.
Let 'em-
Oh man,
What-
who's gonna be
what
like,
person
no,
now?
I'm terrible.
Actually, I'm fucking.
I'm
suck.
the worst father.
I get them
No,
drunk.
I guess they're both great students. They're super smart. They're usually a student of the month. So far, at least every year they've been in school. I think I'm good just because I can see the inspiration I put
Do
into
they like
them.
music now?
They do, yeah. My youngest is learning guitar. She just got her first ukulele. Got her that for Christmas, and my oldest is learning drums, and they'll even sing my songs and stuff. So
Makes you feel good.
yeah, that's definitely a possibility. You know, my oldest will go to school and she'll tell her music teacher, my dad made a record in Nashville this past weekend, or my dad published a book. She'll tell the librarian that stuff.
That's why you went to Tennessee.
So I went to Tennessee to record a song. Yeah, yep, record a
This
song.
guy keeping secrets from me.
See, when I was a kid, it's weird. I was into science, and science and magic tricks. So as a kid, my mom would buy me these cheap ass microscopes that I could barely see shit in.
Yeah, right.
Might as well just be looking really closely with my eye to the piece of paper. But yeah, I was intrigued by science and how things were made, taking them apart and putting them back together, which is kind of like a process of songwriting, taking things apart your life and putting them back together on a piece of paper, then putting it out as music.
I can see that, yeah. And there you go. You see, you had a good mom. She was supportive of what you were into at the time,
I'm not doing shit with science now.
But at the time, you were into science, and she's like, "I'm gonna buy him some cheap microscopes."
I wanted to be the first scientist.
That's what a good parent's about. But yeah,
I wanted to be the first scientist to discover the cure of AIDS.
yeah.
Because my uncle died of HIV.
Wow, I did not know that.
And shooting either because he was getting homosexual sex,
yeah, right.
but he was heroin addict, doing heroin with Joey Ramone supposedly. But he died of HIV, and it was a terrible thing to see. That's why I don't have any kids, any STDs, because even from a young age, that scared me to the point that whenever I had sex, I've had a few mishaps, but condoms. Dustin, I would even fucking double wrap a condom if I had to. And what scared me most, one time I used a condom on a girl. This is going way off of music and everything, but
That's this podcast, I hope you bring this up with Scott Eisenhower, though. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I will.
Same conversation.
I want to talk to Scott about hoes he used to bang, and a girl thanked me for using a condom. That's one of the proudest moments of my life.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I'm glad I didn't put my penis in there just all raw.
Yeah.
When someone thanks you for using a condom, they've been around the block.
That's true. It's probably right. Yeah.
I like to call them a curb. You know what a curb is?
No. Explain it to us.
All right, go outside. Go to your mailbox. Look down. What do you see? Usually. A curb.
Curb, yeah. Right.
And what's that curb do? Goes around the block.
So it's a curb, gotcha.
And plus some. I made that up.
Yet another reason to wear condoms, guys. Yeah.
Don't get hit with curbs. They fuck up your wheels and your dick.
But yeah, and that's like you said, you had a life experience and that changed you. My stepfather died of cancer in his 40s and came really quick, a matter of months.
What form of cancer?
Pancreatic, I believe.
They say that's like the worst.
It was vicious. Yeah, he was 200 pounds. He got down to 80 pounds. He died in our home because there's no health coverage. So that, again, that's my political views are shaped by that, as well as he had this race car.
So you'd be with Bernie Sanders then?
I'm definitely more liberal. Yeah, I'm on the Democratic side of things like that. I definitely believe in universal health care. That's just
I think that's something
ridiculous. We're the richest country in the world, and we can't afford.
Yeah.
I think
I'm not paying extra dollars on my taxes.
Oh yeah, jeez.
The only time we seem to help anyone out is after a natural disaster. Then we want to give our money away, but just to help people in general. But let's not sidestep the story of your stepfather.
Man, there's a lot. Yeah, we can go into politics for a while, but so that changes your points of view like that. And one of the things is he had this race car, and we moved a lot when we were kids. and just followed us house to house. And he was always going to fix it up and race it. And as it turned out, he passed away young, never had a chance to do that race car. And that race car haunts me. That race car haunts me too. So
I thought you were going to give me like a motivational story to where you rebuilt it and you raced it.
We sold we sold the race car, but the connection I was going to make with that is, so when I run into guys like Alan and he tells me I want to do a podcast and he's not doing it, his podcast is that race car following me house to house. So that's why I'm sometimes a little, I pressure people into doing things, I guess, just because.
And that could be why you woke up one day and wanted to do this band, because this band could have been that race car as well.
Exactly, yeah. You got to take each day and do what comes with it, put in the work. What you put in the world, the world's going to get back to you. And, so that's why I'm so, dude, I was giddy. When I got, was I not?
Yeah.
I was giggling. I'm going to be giggling
He's
for
out
this whole
there
thing.
text me, I'm on my way. I might be... He apologized for being like 3 minutes late. I'm like, dude, it's okay.
Yeah, because
he's getting the stuff out of his car. I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell is he? He's got a horse back there too. I'm like, I didn't know that we were gonna gallop around the apartment. It's small. I'm sure I could make it work. But he did push me in the right direction, and he gave me hope, because I like Dustin. I see Dustin as I see you. I'm talking about you as if you're not even here.
Right.
But I see you as a person that is motivational, that has goals and usually accomplishes them, or at least tries to accomplish them.
Yeah, anything I said that, I want to do, that it's never gone. Like, even that album, that's not gone. That's just...
It'll get done.
Things come around, it's more pressing. But, when it comes into your life, you got to take, you don't want race cars...
this is going to have to be a title of a song. You don't want race cars in your life.
And nothing against my stepfather at all. I mean, I just feel that that's a story that is all too common. So after that, just like your uncle, made you double rap,
Mm-hmm.
all the time. That experience definitely pushed me towards. It's true. It's cliche and it's ridiculous. It's you only got today. Tomorrow never comes. That's so true.
Live today as if it's your last. You know what? I'm glad most people don't, because if I knew for a fact that today was my last
you gotta have
day,
some. Yeah.
we wouldn't be doing this podcast.
A little bit of
I'd be
discretion
fucking going out robbing a bank, or I would just raping hot bitches. Because I don't like rape. Okay. But I don't like these guys that rape because rape is wrong. But I don't like these guys that go out and rape, and then you see the person that they raped, and you're like,
man, it wasn't really worth it.
yeah, if I'm
going
to
do
rape someone, I'm going to make it worth my while. Just like I tell Rachel, she gets mad at me. I tell her, I said, if I ever cheat on you, of course I'm not going to. But if I did, because, you hear stories of, dude, I fucking cheated on my wife or girlfriend. And you're like, with who? They pull up the Facebook picture, and you're like, why did you do that?
Yeah, right.
But me, when I tell someone that, oh, fuck, man, I cheated on my girlfriend last night here, people be like, holy shit. Dude, that was worth it, man. That was worth it. So if you're going to do something, at least make it worthwhile. That's all that meant.
And I mean, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, if there's something that you've been wanting to do, take today and start towards that. You don't have to abandon it like there's not going to be tomorrow, but at least don't save your dreams for the best possible time to do it. You know what I mean? Because I'm huge into Les Brown lately. I listen to Les Brown all the time, motivational speaker, and he always says, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to become great.
Yeah.
And that's definitely a thing, yeah.
And you always don't have to place first to be a winner.
That's right.
And now, have you ever had moments in your life to where, you can smoke if you want?
Oh, no, just chapstick and Tic Tacs they're always on me.
Ever been a moment in your musical career where you kind of just got depressed, like, man, why am I even doing this?
No, actually,
Look, every single day as a comic, I'm like, fuck, I don't even want to get on stage. I'm gonna, why am I doing this?
Yeah. No, because I mean, I truly, you get to a point where it's just you're being led. I mean, this is it. If they don't like it, they don't like it. After you do so many shows, you get to the point where you realize it's the crowd that makes the show.
You're right.
It's the crowd. It's not you. So, you just got to get up there and be real to what you're trying to accomplish and do it and leave it.
My favorite member from Cypress Hill, by the way. Be real. But yeah, you're right. Because there'll be some times where I can do the same exact joke one night.
Exactly, yeah.
But then the next night, do the same exact joke for the different crowd. Nothing.
Falls flat, yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
So you see, you have to be beyond those moments, and you can't necessarily.
But you're used to it. I'm used to it now, so I'm just like, whatever. You just move on to the next one,
exactly.
Which I think is a Jay-Z song. There'll be like so many references of me just being like, hey, that's the most stuff. Did you ever call 911?
Yeah, rappers, yeah.
Well, who is your favorite rapper?
Tupac. For sure, just for the broad spectrum. Everybody says Tupac. But, what I like about Tupac is actually the slower songs. I like the Dear Mamas.
Yeah. His softer side, his
like
more emotional side.
Yeah. And I think it's more potent just because you saw him so hard. He was portrayed so hard. So when somebody so hard comes out
and he wasn't afraid to show his softer side.
Yeah.
Like the book of poems that he wrote, which is excellently titled as
I remember you telling me that, yeah.
A Rose
checked it out,
That Grew Through Concrete.
Yeah.
Which I love that. And it's his collection of poems and unfinished poems is pretty mind-blowing. The dude was very poetic. If you compare him to rappers of these days and listen how they speak,
yeah,
Tupac could sit down with you, even though he was a gangster rapper, and I would see these interviews of these white women interviewing him that I swear to God they're just creaming in their pants because you got this sexy black man just speaking poetically to him like
yeah, and they don't expect it.
Yeah. Because he's got that bandana wrapped around his head, his pants are halfway off his ass, but he sits down with you and he speaks very intelligently. And these girls are like, wow.
And he has something to say. I think that's my thing with rap today. I'm not hearing anybody who has something to say.
Rap today is just like, hey, let's throw on these fucking beats, get a good chorus, and let's make some music.
Making club hits, yeah.
Just make a couple club hits. We got to get at least 3 singles for the radio, and then throw on a few crappy songs because it has to be 17 songs for an album.
Yeah, yeah. I feel it's like that too.
But don't do that with your shit.
Yeah, so I would say Tupac. I definitely like Tupac. Of course, like I mentioned before, I grew up with Dre and Snoop Dogg. That's what everybody listened to growing up with me. When I was growing up.
I can even tell by the way that you're sitting that you listen to a lot of hip hop.
So by the way I'm sitting, I said, "Where's this couch, man? It's so comfortable.
Oh, yeah,
it might be ugly, but it's so
out.
comfortable, so comfortable." If I had to pick a rapper today, though, I do like Drake. I really like The Game. A lot of people don't like.
I like The Game. I like what he did to Stitches.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, Stitches is something, man. I don't even have an opinion on him
I
yet.
think that whole thing could be like off for promotion.
Yeah, well, they have the same manager now, right?
Yeah,
they got the same manager
now.
Now
The guy that used to manage Game, but Stitches took one for the team because he let that dude knock him out. Bam!
It was hard.
And the Game's a yoke motherfucker that don't play around. And why would you come after him?
Then after the Game,
then you got Slim Jesus. But what I was going to say is,
we said it all pretty much,
We have talked a lot.
Slim Jesus is all we need.
But the rappers of today and yesterday, of yesteryear, it's just never going to be on the same level.
It's not. I feel the production is definitely, I don't want to say gotten better, but it's gotten more intricate.
This is what I was going to say. Did you hear about B.O.B.,
Oh yeah, the Earth is flat.
The Earth is flat.
I did, yeah.
And did he hear his song?
I didn't even listen to the song. No, was it?
No,
all right?
I'm gonna play the song right now.
All right. Let's listen to the song.
And
I
the song is good, even though what he is, because B.O.P. He's a good writer and whatnot. But
yeah, and he has good delivery. He's just into conspiracies. Is a little bit.
There's obviously a lot of people that think the Earth is flat.
But I mean, I'm a PBS junkie, so I'm big into science and stuff. So just the fact that he was even
and he got Neil deGrasse
Tyson, to even reply,
He played a song. Now I'm playing a song, and I want you guys to listen. The B.O.B. spit facts about the Earth.
Yeah, I'm excited because I haven't heard it, but
I
know.
Dude, he flows. He can flow.
Yeah, you ain't seen my best. Checkmate, in a game of chess. Globalists see me as a threat. Free thinking, got the world at my neck. Ha! And my paranoid picture Malcolm X in a room full of pigs trying not to bust a sweat. Ayy, Neil Tyson need to loosen up his vest. They probably write that man one hell of a check. Ayy, I'm over here on this side of town. Come on over here and try to clown. Ayy, I never pipe down. If they weren't coming for me, then they definitely coming for me now. I can't even keep my phone charged up. All the shit I'm talking, I should get my own barred up. Rappers get off on my dick and get your own bars up. Vladimir and Liz's breath got the clone scar, cuz whoop. Use your common sense. Why is NASA Part Department of Defense? They divided up the seas into 33 degrees, feeding kids masonry. Bro, be careful what you read. Flatline. There's no superior bloodline. Flatline. You got me once, but that died. Ayy, voice. Do I have a voice? Do I give a fuck? Do I have a choice? Joint. I roll up a joint, keep my shooters in the game like I hate to disappoint. I see only good things on the horizon. That's probably why the horizon is always rising. Indoctrinated in a club called science, and graduated to a club full of liars. Heliocentrism, you were the sixth victim. Fuck you and your team, you can sit on the bench with them, they nervous. But before you try to curve it, do your research on David Irving. Stalin was way worse than Hitler. That's why the POTUS gotta wear a kipper. I'm a man first for an artist. Get a lawyer, look up Dr. Richard Sauter. Facts. Flatline. You fools for the last time.
He flows.
Flatline.
He does, yeah.
Flatline. There's no superior bloodline.
He's saying a lot in there too.
Yeah. I gotta look up these people.
Look up the names, yeah.
Center. And it turns out sea level at the equator is farther
Then he
away
throws
from
this
the center
in.
of the
He
Earth
throws in Neil
than sea
deGrasse
level
Tyson.
near the pole.
The clip.
It has nothing to do with global warming and melting of the ice caps.
Why is that?
Because Earth, we know it spins once a day. Yes, thank you. 3 people know that how long a day lasts here.
Good for row number 2. They're off to a great start.
So you spin, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out. It gets wider in the middle. So Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning. And it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere. It's oblate. And officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good word. It's like pear-shaped.
Yeah.
So, it turns out that pear-shapedness is bigger than the height of Mount Everest above sea level.
Facts. Flatline. Fools for the last time. Flatline. There's no superior bloodline.
And people, that was B.O.B. Why on earth would you think the Earth was flat when we can send satellites? And if you have enough money, you could probably purchase your own satellite, fly it out, whatever, and see that the world is round.
Yeah.
I do believe in some weird conspiracy theories. I tend to think sometimes the government knew the 9/11 was going to happen and didn't stop it. I think the government assassinated JFK. I think what else do I think? Aliens are real. And that's it.
It seems like some type of life form would be just the vastness.
They say
of the universe.
there's more planets in our solar system alone than there are grains of sand on every beach in the world. Now, Dustin, ain't that something?
That's something, yeah. I mean, they're always discovering, Earth-like planets,
Recently,
galaxies away. Which, I mean, that's intriguing. I mean, in our lifetime, are we ever going to see proof of that? Probably not. But
I think there's been proof. I myself have seen a UFO. I don't know. It was definitely a unidentified flying object. This was before I did any drugs. I was walking home. I look up. I see a sphere floating in the sky. I have 2 other witnesses. My brother, my best friend at the time, Jeremiah. Sphere is floating. It splits into 2. Floats. Gets back together and just vanishes. I saw that with my own eyes, and I don't know how to explain that. I don't know.
And you never will.
I don't know why. That's why I called this podcast Allenlytical. You think that's a wrap?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. It's your deal. I'm just so excited to be here. I'm glad you're doing this. I hope this is like the first of hundreds to come
I'm gonna have you on again. Do you want to play another song? Because I know you brought 2 instruments.
I did. You want a uke song before I head out?
Please. Uke song. As soon as you leave, I'm gonna play that clip of that one song. I got a text message. I wonder who it's from. I love this. That this guy can. I'm gonna grab me another beer.
Yeah, and practice this one. I can do the one I did in Nashville. Yeah, I wrote it just for the booth. So down at Third Man, they have this little record booth you can go into, and for $20 you record a song. It's back in the day before cell phones and everything. Carnivals and towns would have these booths, and you went in there and you recorded your message and it pressed it to a little vinyl record, and you mailed it off to your loved ones. So people going off to war and stuff. You don't get to hear the voice, so they can go in there and say their I love yous, their goodbyes. Presses the vinyl and you mailed it. And
what was that technology called?
It just cuts the record right there. And then they'd put it on their little family record player, listen to it, and they could hear it. So Jack White down at Third Man, he has one of these machines that they've refurbished.
Jack White from
the White Stripes, yeah.
White Stripes, yeah.
So I heard that, and I was like, oh, that's just amazing. I want to go down there. And when you're in the booth, it's so tiny. People used to be a lot smaller than they are now. I'm not a tall dude. I'm probably like 5'9". Mm-hmm. But it's at the limit of my head, so you're kind of hunched, and they fix it up for you, and you're gonna hear this big vacuum of a sound. And when this light comes on, you have this countdown. There's 150 seconds, and it's not even precise because it's so old. So it just counts you down, and you have that much time for this record. For it to cut
record,
your sound.
And that's what you did.
And that's what I did. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was fun.
I want to do that. I don't know what he's playing, but we're about to listen.
Hey, mama, look at me. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, singing a song I wrote just for you. If I never make it back to make you smile and make you laugh, I guess this hero song will have to do. So I'll send to you my loving words with every strum and rhyme and verse. My heart is still with you, I swear it's true. Hey mama, look at me, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, singing to you. Hey mama, look at me, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, singing to you.
So I wrote that to kind of just soak up that whole thing.
I had to get this on Snapchat.
Nice.
Backstage access.
Didn't even realize what you're doing, but yeah. So that's a song I wrote inspired of that, and it's the uke. So Dustin Danger, Alan Lewis,
Dustin Danger,
Villens.com.
Villens.com, Facebook, The Villens.
Yeah, and Rebels Fair Collective. That's the collective of writers and artists and musicians that I'm starting in the area.
I want to be in
Out. Yeah, I posted some of your stuff, and yeah, we're putting out our second book. You can search it on Amazon right now. Just go Rebels Fair Collective, and the first book will pop up, and I hope the second book to be out by March 1st, which will feature 2 entries from Alan Lewis. So not only has he begun his podcast, but he's a month away from being a published author,
published author, a comedian. What's going on with me?
Yeah,
man. And
this is the place to be. So.
This is the place to be on the flowery couch, talking about things like the flat Earth of B.O.B. I want to thank you for being on here.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me your
a
time.
handshake. Yeah, there it is.
And I think this was one hell of a good time. I had a good time. We
I did too.
opened
It was
up
nice.
for almost an hour and a half just talking, and everything is going to be up there, probably be uploaded within the next few days, edit it, throw on some logos and all that stuff, and refine the audio, and with that I say mahalo. I take that from Adam Carolla.